question. Zach, do you want to just give us like a little 30-second minute, tell us about what you do, what you're up to on the planet?
Sure. So, look, my greater vision is to help co-create the healthiest people on the planet. It's a big job, but it all started for me because when I was young, I didn't have, like, people think I've been healthy my whole life, but it wasn't always like that. For me, I was a chubby kid, picked on, teased, bullied. Like, I had asthma, acne, bad sleep, bad gut health, and I found my escape from reality through computer games and like food. They were my two addictions, you know. Luckily, I had a mentor at 17. He helped me with fitness, nutrition, mindset. I changed my whole life. I ended up getting so passionate about health and nutrition. I used to burn documentaries and hand it out at my high school to educate friends and family on this stuff that I was learning. I was like, oh my God, you got to check this out. So that was 11 years ago, and it just hasn't stopped. I worked for Vitamix, so I traveled around the country making smoothies and raw food. I started a YouTube channel, Raw Cave, got like 10,000 subscribers, 200 videos on there. And now I do health coaching, events, retreats, and epic interviews with legends like yourself.
Oh, shucks, man. Make me blush. All right. I like to always jump in and ask, what was your like game-changing moment, like a significant moment that changed the way you play life?
Okay. Good question. There are so many. There's like game-changing moments every day, man. But I think the biggest one is a mindset switch for me when I was younger and I was going through a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
I had times when I felt like the world was against me. I was really stuck. I wasn't, really smart at school. I was just kind of like in my head, right? And I was really stuck. And I was blaming how I was feeling on the external world. And I remember talking to my dad and saying, hey, Dad, like all these things are happening in my life. I'm just feeling really horrible, and like I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, why me? Like, what's going on? Like, it's really affecting me. And he said, son, never let anything in your external environment influence how you feel on the inside. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, all right,
Dad dropping the wisdom bomb.
yeah. And then from that moment, he just said to me, whether it's a challenging experience or a positive experience, have gratitude for both, because to be even alive is like 1 in 400 trillion or something like that. So the gratitude was planted very early for me, and I feel that's been a thread that's helped me in every area of life.
Absolutely. And gratitude is an amazing thread to be living life with, and just weaving that through your day-to-day events and circumstances. And, it's really special to just come back to that gratitude thread. It's like, take a breath, gratitude. Yeah, this is fucking awesome to be alive. Awesome. So let's talk, like I mentioned in the description, gut health. And I think it's a pretty cool buzzword that's going around. And I would just, if you could speak to that a little more, like what the heck is gut health? What's it about? Why are people getting all of a sudden it's become a huge thing? And I'm very curious myself because I've read bits and pieces, but I don't know if it's fully landed in place. And I feel like you're the guy that could, be able to explain this the best to me right now.
Sure. So, yeah, and this is what we'll be going through at our event, which is going to be in November. So I'm really excited to share lots more then. But really, the whole gut health thing is we have different systems in our body. We have the respiratory system where we're breathing, we have our blood, and we have our digestive system. It's another system. We have many systems in our body working together to create this incredible human thing that we're in today, right? And the digestive system is a system that when we eat the food that we're eating, we're eating a lot of food these days, or whatever we are eating goes into our body, and that's how we're getting our nutrition. And our nutrition is the building blocks for life. Our hair, skin, nails, bones, mindset, things around anxiety and stress and depression now can be linked to even gut health or unhealthy gut health. So my fascination started with it when a couple of years ago at my nutrition study, this lady spoke at the seminar, and she had a child, and for the first 6 months of this child's life, the kid never slept. It was crying all the time. Every time she gave it some food, it would vomit. She tried everything, herbal medicines, probiotics, all this different stuff, until one day she went to a health food shop, and she went to the health food lady. Hey, do you have anything for my baby? And the lady recommended, hey, have you tried bone broth? And she went home that night. She said, no, I haven't. I've tried everything. I might as well give this a go. She got some organic meat, some like chicken, some apple cider vinegar, and boiled it on a pot for like 3-4 hours, and gave it and cooled it down, gave it to the child that night. And that night, the baby had its first full night's sleep in 6 months. And so for me, I listened to that, and I was like, okay, that's pretty important. If it's going to help a baby's health, I'm sure it's going to help our health, or my health. I went home, I bought all the ingredients. The next day I made this awesome bone broth, and that was like 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago or something. And it's changed my whole life in terms of how I feel on the inside. So look, there's many tips on gut health, whether you're vegetarian or vegan, you can make your own kind of broth. Similar ones, but from, I used to be vegetarian. I was vegetarian for 7 years growing up. I was a chubby kid, and then I started eating meat and eggs, and I dropped all this weight, and I felt amazing. So that, for me personally, meat works, but I know it doesn't work for everyone. Other things that can help gut health are obviously reducing all the chemicals in our environment, like antibacterial washes, certain deodorants, and like chemicals and hairsprays and skins and makeup. All these chemicals get into our body, and they really ruin the garden within our digestive system. So, think of our digestive system as a garden, and the healthier you can look after the garden, feeding it with good quality soil, with like probiotics, like fermented foods, like kimchi and sauerkraut are really good. Traditional kombucha is good. The kombucha that you buy at the supermarket now is just like sugary stuff. And I actually met a doctor the other day. Her name's Dr. Joanna, and she's on the ABC Catalyst show. And I interviewed the other week a guy called Cale Brock, and he has a movie called The Gut Movie. And he went to Africa, and he lived with a traditional tribe for a week and measured his microbiome and how healthy he became. And what they're studying and realizing is that the more variety you can have, the foods from the areas that you grow up or like are living, the more variety that you have creates a higher, like a more of abundant variety within your digestive system. And the more variety that you have, the stronger we are at fighting off obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all these like modern made preventable diseases can be fought all off by having a healthy microbiome, which is the digestive system, and healthy insides. So I'm a massive fan of it. Even if we're eating clean, we could be eating super clean stuff, but if our body isn't absorbing it because our digestive system isn't healthy, it's just wasting its time. So we're wasting our time and energy and money. So it's like my main focus is gut health, and then everything else is just so much easier. I put on muscle quicker in the gym. I sleep better skin, better recovery, energy, all that stuff. All comes back to gut health.
I love it. Variety as well. I'm just going to make a special shout out. I just saw Travis Scott is watching. He is like a chef, and he is one of my favorite cooks on earth. So Travis, man, just goes back to the bone broth. Zach's talking about bone broth. I remember you cooking up wicked broth. So I just have to make that shout out to Travis. All right. Awesome. So I guess now the next question I'd like to move into is, so for you, keeping your gut health in check is like, that's number one priority. And how does that maintain? So when you're doing your travels and stuff like that, or you're going overseas, in different parts of the world, like, is it pretty easy to keep your gut health in check? Is there like a little like checklist that you use, or something like your little go-tos? I know you mentioned bone broth and kimchi. What do you use to keep your gut health in check?
So I do a lot of fasting. So, I'm not a big fan of having cereal or eggs or a normal traditional breakfast. I'm just not hungry personally. So I do a lot of fasting, and then whenever I break a fast, like in the morning, I'll take tea. So when I'm traveling, I'll take some teas and herbs with me. Okay, so just things I'll chuck in my bag. And then when I'm traveling, some smoothies. So just like easy to make smoothies wherever I am. I've got my shaker bottle, some filtered water, making a smoothie. If I'm at someone's house, like using a blender as well, that's always good. When I travel and I stay with friends, or when I'm traveling, even going to a hotel, I'll take, if I can, I'll take my slow cooker or my big pot with me. I've been doing a lot of driving lately, a lot of like long road trips up to Brisbane and down to Melbourne. I just take everything with me. I take my Vitamixes, take all my herbs, take all my supplements, take you know, just all the good stuff. But when you travel, it's obviously a little bit more challenging. You know, the thing to also realize is when we travel, our sleep can also get taken out. And then when we don't sleep correctly, it's going to influence our hormones and our cravings the next day. So, you know, at the same time, you know, I don't like to be super strict on this stuff. If you're traveling, enjoy your travel, you know, like I'm big on having fun. You know,
absolutely, man. That's number one. It's like, cool, enjoy your travel. And if that's for you, having a slow cooker, carrying that around, that's awesome. Like, turn that into a boombox, blast the music.
And just you know, there's some healthy cafes around. You know, it's nice when you go.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Awesome. And just being mindful, everyone, you good? Just being mindful, everyone that's watching, if you've got a question along the way, just drop it in the comment now. So we'll address those questions before the end of the call. Awesome. And what's been a worthwhile investment you've made that's changed the way you play life?
Worthwhile investment.
This could be time, this could be an investment of energy, this could be an investment of money, something that's been worthwhile. Probably, I want to say in the last year.
All right. Gosh, good question. So, worthwhile investment. Recently, it's been organizing community events. I have a place, a home where I can organize. It's a great social environment. So I've been cooking for people, and my friends would just bring over, you know, a healthy plate of food, and we would just eat together and hang out. So the investment is like, I guess, organizing just a hangout with friends, local people in the area to come over, because there was a few years ago when I used to be really hardcore into this health stuff, and I'd be having my green smoothie, you know, sitting at home feeling lonely, but I'm eating the best green smoothie, but I'm like feeling like, you know, empty inside.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is something's missing. So, you know, I love cooking. Well, I like cooking food that I love to eat. So I love just cooking stuff that I like to eat. And I'm like, hey guys, come over, and have like 15 or 20 of my friends come over, and we just hang out and eat food, and it's been great. So investing in just spending time with quality people over good food, that's been a massive plus the last 12 months.
That's really huge. Yeah, it's just like same thing. Like it's really key to start putting on more of these community events, and it's like you know, and I always say for these events, it's like, cool, bring a friend along as well. So it's like you're getting a variety of friends coming here. It's not the same sort of circle of friends, which is great, but it's also introducing yourself to different people and hosting these events. There's something about hosting an event, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a big like, you know, a big cook-off or whatever it is. You can have so much fun creativity-wise. And I was just talking to someone the other day, and she loves playing harp music. I was like, oh, why don't you put a sound healing together with your harp music? And you'll be surprised who would come along to that. And nowadays with Facebook, it's so amazing. You can just throw an event on, like, you know, within a week, it's created. So it's pretty cool.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
All right. Now, this is always a good one. I like this question. What's been some, in your area of expertise, in your sort of industry, what's been some bad advice you've heard or received?
Oh, wow. Some bad advice.
Yeah, some advice that's just like, oh man, that's still being said to people.
Okay.
Especially in terms of health, because you're always. Oh, you got one today?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, it's so interesting. You know, in this health game, there's so many conflicting points of view, and I guess at the end of the day,
absolutely.
Like I've met two particular doctors or people who are specializing in gut health, and they talk about coffee being actually quite good for gut health. It actually helps
Right.
helps pollinate and feed the good bacteria and can create a good microbiome. Okay, but then I look at research around coffee, and coffee actually restricts the blood flow to the brain, and that's why the body freaks out so much, because the body's not getting this, the oxygen and the nutrition to the brain, and the body's freaking out. So of course it's going to want to and it's really acidic to the body. So that's why we pee and poop after we drink a coffee, because the body's like, I need to get this out of me as quick as possible, flushing the body out. It's a diuretic. It dehydrates us. So look, I haven't drunk coffee in years. I used to drink coffee, but I found it made me more tired. And I found out recently that coffee can actually stop us getting into the deepest level of sleep every night. So coffee might be good for being focused while you're driving or studying, or short bursts like that. But long-term success, but specifically if you're training and wanting to recover from exercise, sleep is the most important time of the day, and for anybody. So artificially stimulating our brain upwards with coffee stops us from deepening our sleep at night. And they say the longer that we sleep every night, the longer we're going to live. That's what the science says. If we can sleep longer and more quality sleep, the more quality of life we're going to have.
I resonate deeply with the sleep aspect. I've heard people brag about how little sleep they get and how well they're running off that, and I'm like, I think that's great for you, but I know personally, how I sleep is so important. And there's like a night ritual I get into, and when my pillow hits the bed, like it takes me 3 pages in my book and I'm out, and it's like some of the deepest sleep I've ever had. And so,
awesome.
Yeah, can you just speak a little more to the benefits of sleep and how crucial that is?
Look, this is a conversation that can kind of it's so frustrating for me. For me, the last couple of years working my business as an entrepreneur, as well as my health coaching and working with people. That whole, I'll work more and get everything, I cram everything into the day, and then at night, fall asleep texting and doing some calls, and then fall asleep and wake up and just pump it out again. And for me, I did that for a little while, and it broke me down. Like, it was really challenging for me mindset wise, and I just wasn't getting the results in my business that I wanted to. And I was like, all right, back to basics. Focus on gut health, focus on lifestyle, focus on balance, or work-life balance to a degree. I don't really believe in super work-life balance, because today it's such an integrated lifestyle. It's more like lifestyle balance, a work lifestyle. The few things for sleep would be getting to bed before 10 p.m. That's going to be the most reparative time for our hormones. And our hormones, which is human growth hormone, for example, is super anti-aging, helps us maintain muscle, drop fat, keeps us young and youthful. And as soon as we ruin our sleep, it will jeopardize that. So that affects our cravings, like I said before. But making sure where we sleep is a colder environment, so it's slightly cooler than the blankets. It's got to be a little bit cooler on the outside. No technology, about an hour before bed. Quite challenging, but it's just that blue light that we have, and that's why a night mode or flux. Flux is really good if you have a laptop.
It is great.
X. Yeah, Flux. It's a free download. It changes the color of your screen, so you can actually get because the blue light, which is like the sky, just keeps us wired all night, and people wonder why they can't get sleep. So also, maybe not eating 1-2 hours before you go to bed. Fasting can help with sleep as well. So making sure that you're not overeating and over consuming lots of food, but really looking after just eating what you need to eat. What else? Another crazy thing is magnesium oil. So magnesium chloride oil that you can put on the tops of your feet before you sleep. I sleep so well when I do that. And
I love that. I'm gonna try that for sure.
Yeah, and then having a tea before bed, like some nice herbs or tea before bed, is like a bit of a ritual. Maybe like a warm turmeric thing would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Setting up an evening routine, and I find I sleep better when I set my day up that night. So like if, tonight, before I go to bed, I'll set my top 3 goals before tomorrow. And by setting that, I find that my brain goes, oh, there's a purpose to tomorrow. I'm going to sleep really well, so I'm really focused for the next day. So setting goals the night before can also help.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. And I know there was a question Luke asked here saying, what about green tea, as that also has a lot of caffeine in it?
Yeah, look.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on, it's all dependent on someone's situation. What works for me might be completely different to you, Luke. For me, caffeine in small amounts is okay, like green tea is fine and stuff like that. I like the yerba mate tea. I don't know if you've tried that before. Yerba mate is incredible.
Sounds good.
But at the end of the day, like if we're needing to rely on the coffee, like why do you need the coffee? Like is there something that you're not doing that could be a healthier ritual that's going to then maintain the energy? I don't know. I haven't had coffee for years. I don't really rely on it. If it's just an enjoyable thing, cool. It might be good for weight loss and things like that, but I think maybe long term, it's not ideal. I talked to a lot of people, coaching hundreds of people over the last couple of years, and those that drink coffee usually struggle with their weight and struggle with their sleep and struggle with cravings a lot. So, maybe have it a couple times a week.
Ooh, the coffee drinkers out there are going to like that.
Yeah, man.
I haven't drank coffee. And the funny story was, I used to work in one of Canada's #1 organic fair trade coffee places, like serving coffees, and I didn't drink coffee, and it used to drive people bonkers. Like, oh, this tastes so good, you get it for free, don't you? What's your favorite? I was like, I don't drink coffee. I'm like, but you're serving me this deliciousness. So, I don't know, coffee drinkers, they're hardcore, they're serious. There's some serious coffee drinkers out there.
Coffee.
Henry has dropped in.
I think if you are going to have coffee, because like, I'm not going to say don't do coffee, but like if you're going to do coffee, have some MCT oil or coconut oil in there, organic butter. I find that slows down the absorption of the caffeine and will give you more of a lasting energy hit and less of a crash, so.
Absolutely. Henry's dropped a good question in here. What is the best oil to cook with?
I think olive oil. Olive oil, coconut oil, depends what you're cooking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wicked. Love it. Any more questions you guys want to drop? I know I'm being mindful of time. I don't even know what the time is.
I don't know what the time is.
But yeah, I don't know either. Awesome. We'll probably, in terms of like, yeah, you go.
Yeah, I think something I want to share with everyone is what we kind of forget about in this health journey is that our body, we're an accumulation of our mind, body, and spirit. Yeah, we're a synergistic being. I believe we're a spiritual being having a physical experience, and there's, how the hell did all this come about? So for me, that whole the question of like, where do we come from? Why are we here? What is my purpose? Why am I here? All that type of thing. That for me, the more that I ask these philosophical questions about the bigger picture to life, the more that I start to appreciate the little things, appreciate nature, appreciate other people, appreciate, where I live. We live in Australia. I'm so grateful. And I've recently got into, all success coaches or successful people, they have a clarity around a vision or a purpose of why they're doing what they're doing. And, a few years ago, I found that I was exercising and eating well, but I was like, why am I doing this? I was smashing out 3 or 4 CrossFit sessions a week. I was eating all my meals, and I was like, is this it? Like, is this it? Like, is there more to this whole equation? And for me, getting clear on my purpose in life around my vision, my goals, the impact that I want to have on the world, I find that I naturally start to feel more energized when I do exercise and when I do, buy my food and when I am, with people, because I feel that there's an alignment that happens when our mind and our body and our spirit and everything is aligned to a certain direction. We choose the right foods. We choose to exercise. We go to sleep on time. Like our body will absorb the food effectively and stuff like that. So having an alignment with our purpose and vision is something that, if you guys haven't thought about that, I've got an awesome 12-month plan, which is a self-awareness blueprint. And it is an accumulation of about 3 or 4 different personal development coaches and my own experience to nut out everything from purpose, vision, mission, 12-month goals, 90-day goals, 30-day goals, values, all this cool stuff. So if you guys want that, just let me know. I can send you a link. I'm going to turn it into a program later, but maybe I can get some feedback from you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely, early stages. And Luke also mentioned here, he says, yeah, but what about the carcinogens on olive oil and smoking point, question mark?
Yeah, you don't want to burn an oil, and you don't want it to smoke. It's gonna turn into a carcinogen, and carcinogens turn into or cause cancer in the body. It's just what happens. So I'm big on not putting too much oil in my smoothies as well. Like I have a Vitamix and I'm blending it like, and you don't want to aerate and oxidize the oil too much either, because then you're drinking oxidized oil, and that's a carcinogen as well. So I'm just very, I don't use much oil when I cook. Good point. I do a lot of slow cooking, and the only time I use the oil is when I then plate fresh oil straight onto the food. Yeah. For sure.
Henry asked too, what is a healthy amount of fruit that we should be consuming on a daily basis, keeping in mind sugar? And I can't read the rest of his comments, but
so fruit, it depends what your goals are, man. So if you're training a lot, exercising, and you find that you need a bit more energy throughout the day to get through, depending on your lifestyle, you might be working at your job and doing some training, and you might need some more energy. Having a piece of fruit throughout the day can be beneficial, maybe as like a pre-workout. For me personally, I don't actually have much fruit. I have more natural sugars. I might put a little bit of fruit in my smoothies and stuff like that, but I try to stay away from it. And it depends where you're at right now, Henry. So like, I don't know you specifically, but if you're just starting out on this journey and you find that you're craving sugars and craving the sugary foods to stay energized throughout the day, it's not going to always be like that. Once you start fasting and getting on top of your nutrition with bone broth and gut health and stuff, you'll find that your fasts can go longer. And like today, I broke my fast just before the call here, and I had energy all day. And it was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have a smoothie now. I'm more aware of when I implement the sugars into my body, and this will be, my smoothie here, because the purpose is to be focused for this call. Don't just have much fruit, but at the same time, it's also good to have a variety of these things throughout the week, and have that variety of fiber, because our body and our digestive system needs the variety of fiber to help the biome. So yeah, if you're going to have fruit, just mix it up, change it up. Don't have the same bit of fruit every single day. Just create. Do we lag?
Love that. So Josh has got a question. I don't know if I can see more of it. Josh, we've gone over a bit about gut health. It was earlier on in the video, so I'm sure you can watch that. Can you read more of his comment there, Zach?
I can't read too much.
Oh, he's going into his next treatment. It's all good. Cool. He's going into his next.
He's a massage therapist. Guys.
Love it.
This is helping.
If there's any more burning questions,
I have a health group as well on Facebook.
Yeah, any more burning questions, please drop it in the comment below. Yeah, exactly. So for more about Zac and anything that you've enjoyed listening to and hearing about here, I mean, this guy is a guy in this industry. He knows his stuff, and I'm sure he also needs to get onto his next phone call as well. So we'll be wrapping it up here. I hope you got some value out of like variety. So some big take homes: variety, gut health. There's things around fasting. Anyone that's watching the video too, just rewatch it again. If you have questions that you still want to ask, you can message either myself or Zach. I've tagged him in the video, so go give him a follow and check out his work if you're interested. And yeah, other than that, man, I look forward. I'm in Sydney, so I look forward to finally meeting each other probably this weekend.
Yeah, dude. That's it. I guess my final little point is,
Can be rad.
if I'm not lagging, my final little point is this: my filter for health stuff, or there's so much crazy health stuff out there. If it doesn't meet the 3 criteria, I don't do it. So if it's not easy, simple, and fun, I'm scrapping it. If something's challenging, if it's stressing me out, if it's like overwhelming, if it's not, if it's causing me a headache, I drop it and take from it what I will, and then implement it to the next experience. And and just, if something's not easy, simple, and fun, don't do it. Cool.
There's a lot of truth to that, especially when it comes to health. Oh man, thank you so much, Zach, for taking the time and jumping on the Game Changers Live. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Thanks, everyone.
All right, we're gonna wrap things up.